Good afternoon. My name is Trey Bowles. I'm the co-founder and CEO of the Dallas Entrepreneur Center. It's exciting to be here today. Thank you. Thank you. Exciting to be here today. It's really cool to see where Tech Wildcatters has come since its inception. I've been a mentor, had the opportunity to be a mentor for the last 4 years, and to get to see the types of companies that have come in here, to get to see the type of program they've put together, the type of national and international acclaim that they're receiving is very justified. But it's also very helpful for all the things that are going on in Dallas. And I want to thank Tech Wildcatters for being such a huge catalyst for all the things that are happening in Dallas right now around entrepreneurship. Okay, so what do I love about entrepreneurs? I like three main things. One, I like that they're courageous, right? It takes a lot of courage to come up with an idea, to leave a job and chase after it. Two, it takes persistence. Right? It's not for the faint of heart. Once you get excited to go out and do something, you actually have to keep working at it and keep working at it. And third, and most importantly, is a little bit of crazy, right? Because realistically, none of us would do this if we had all our marbles going on, right? So about 4 months ago, a friend of mine from high school called me, and he said, I really want to apply for this Tech Wildcatters accelerator program. I said, that's great. So he started working. And he started contacting them and going to the quick pitches and getting involved and involved and involved. And he was so persistent to get in and make that change happen. And then over the past 3 months, the amount of activity and time and development they're doing, I mean, these guys are incredible, incredible developers. That courage I'm starting to see and grow in them. And third, they do have that little bit of crazy, which is nice as well. But one of the things I always tell people, when you look at an audience with all these people, you think there are 100 entrepreneurs in here that actually believe they can change the way something's done. They can actually change the world. 2 of them might actually be able to do it. I think with Pipem, we might have found those 2 guys. So help me welcome to the stage James Thornton from Pipem.
Hello, I'm James Thornton, the co-founder of Pipem. And Trey didn't know I was doing this, but we have known each other a long time, since first grade. In fact, this is a photo of our second grade class photo. That's Trey on the top right, and that's me on the second row on the bottom right. How many of you know what this is? Anyone? This is Kit from Knight Rider. How many of you have your Apple Watch yet? How many of you want one? All right. Remember when Michael Knight had one in the 80s? The Apple Watch just came out a few months ago, and they're selling 1 million units a month. There's 1.7 million apps in the App Store, but there's only about 3,000 apps available for Apple Watch right now, or Android Wear for that matter. Why do you think that is? The way we currently develop apps is broken. Developers have to develop multiple apps to make online service available on multiple platforms. For example, you'd have to develop an app for Android, Apple Wear, or Android Wear, Apple Watch, Microsoft, and on and on. This process is costly, time-consuming, and requires special expertise, so most don't do it. Now, imagine a world where you can communicate with online services the same way you communicate with people. A world where you don't have to download and install an app and scroll through a sea of icons every time you want to connect with an online service. Where you can use natural language, your own words, instead of having to poke at icons and buttons to communicate. Where you can send a text to send your mom flowers on Mother's Day. Or use Siri to have Uber pick you up in 20 minutes. We've been in the stone age of online services. The future is using voice and text commands. And that future is coming quicker than you think. We've developed the technology to make that possible today. So what is Pipem? Pipem is a robot. It lives in the cloud, just like Rosie. You control it by saying commands, just like Jane. So how does it work? Simply use Pipem to send a voice, email, or text message to an online service. Pipem will translate that message into something a machine can understand. And then Pipem will route your message to the online service. For example, here's an example most of you are familiar with, Uber, and I think Uber is in the audience today. So if I was going to have text a message to Uber and have them pick me up at 2 o'clock, that message would go out to Pipem. Pipem would translate your message into something a machine could understand. It would get routed to Uber. Uber would do its thing in the cloud, order a driver, send a confirmation back to Pipem. Pipem would translate that machine response back into natural language, and then you'd see the reply on your text message. We've created a simpler model for developing and interacting with online services. Almost every device can send text or email messages. No more downloading apps. For the end users, this is awesome, refreshingly awesome. But for the developers, it's a breakthrough. Before, you'd have to release an app across all platforms. You'd have to develop an app across all platforms. With Pipem, using the tools, the messaging tools currently available on your most devices, you can create an app immediately and have it available on all the platforms at once using basic messaging. The market size for app development is huge. Currently, there's a $100 billion market, and we're going after the top 10,000 developers at first. These are the innovators, the early adopters, the ones who will build things because it's new. We're using a subscription plan similar to GitHub, where developers will pay so much a month, and the organizations, once the apps get developed, will pay per user. And we're the team to do it. I co-founded Colorado Federal Savings Bank's online division, and I've been developing internet service since 1994. Dimitri, my co-founder, is a math PhD and an MBA. He co-founded several venture-backed startups. And Pipem just so happens to sit at the intersection of three of the biggest waves in the startup world: mobile, messaging, and on-demand. We're looking for strategic partners to help us evolve to the next level. And I know this is a lot to cover in 5 minutes, so if you have questions, please meet us in the back afterwards. Thank you.